Hello, this is Robert Cooper, Kingman, Arizona, and I'm working on some more JavaScript, trying, but I want to show you what I've got so far. I've been trying different ways to execute terminal commands using web applications, a straight web browser with just some HTML URL links, and I had to process them specially. But using the JavaScript, I don't have to do this special processing. It'll handle the variables differently. Actually, input you assign the click link to a text string, and that gets downloaded, and then from the download, very easy process to actually run it through a terminal in the background. But let me show you what I've done so far today. So I've got it set up where I can do an application, or I can do a website, or if I go over here, I can run terminal commands right there. But we'll do the applications first, right? So where the files get downloaded after it gets processed by the JavaScript, and where it gets downloaded and my computer is on the downloads folder. It's Debian Linux. It's a Peppermint is a version. It's the one that's most stable for me, and which would be Debian 12 stable. And so what happens is that you can see there's no file here, right? And I click it, and it generates a file, and we'll look at it, the inside of it, and that's all it says. It's just GIMP, right? Now what happens is I have another where it says Run App. This is where the processing happens. So I'll click on that, and it runs. Right? No terminal. One of the issues I had with the using without JavaScript is I had leftover terminal windows that kept getting opened up, and I'd have to get around that with the Genome. Now I don't have to even use Genome. Although that would pop up here in a second. I'll show you it's a Genome terminal, but I don't have to use Genome. I can use basically any terminal now. So if you notice, the file that was there is gone. After it gets running the application and it starts, the file will delete within 3 seconds. I got to pause so I can actually see the file. Let's go to a website now, and same thing. I'll just click the run here, and there you are. Runs it right to my website, one of them. All right, let's go to a utility. There we go. Let's do something that's password protected. This actually it does launch a Genome terminal with a new window, and it holds it with the processing holds it with a read statement so that I can see what happened before it closes. No, there's no files over here, so I click this. You'll see there's a file, and what these are doing is this is the web browser over here. Basically, that's Google Chrome right there, and it's downloading. When I click on it, it's downloading the files to my download directory, and I can assign that anywhere within the script. And now we're going to run it, and there it is. It tells me I have the actual output command here, or from here, read in as the title on the terminal, so I know exactly what it is, and then I just enter my password, and there you are. And all I can do is just press a key. As long as my mouse is over something, it'll take it. So the ping one doesn't require a password, but it still requires the 2 clicks. One there and one here, and it pops it up, and there it is. All right, and I have it set up that as soon as I hit Control C to cancel it, it still has a press any key there so I can see the results, because there'll be other processing I'll do that needs that. It doesn't have to be there all the time. It wouldn't be there for the running like GIMP and launching a website. So I think it's pretty cool. Well, I don't need this window here really, the download to see what's going on. I also programmed into it this. So I made 2 divs, and I've got basically the download folder right there, right? So I'll run GIMP, and you saw something there. I have to do a refresh on this, reload, and there it is, right? And I can prove it is a terminal. I mean, a website. This is Google Chrome, right? I'll right-click it, and we're going to look at the page source. And there you have it. Look at that. It is a web browser. Yeah, well, it's a special command within Google Chrome, Chromium also. It's a -app equals, and they put the link to this was the link to the application. You don't have to use a URL. You can use a relative path like /home/ Linux /development and all that, and eventually get to the folder you want shown here, right? There's another thing. I turn them off, but let me turn them back on. Is my I don't know if I can turn it back on now. Settings. I guess not. I'll have to work on that. I turned my icons off of my desktop. I was going to show you something else. This here, when you use that special command of app equal, you can actually assign or tell the program you want it to use the system bar, and by doing that you can tell it to stay always on top, so it acts more like a regular Linux window than it does a browser, even though it is a browser. And so that's all I've done so far today. And you might ask, like, why are you doing this? Okay, so when I get up 30 or 40 or 50 different things here that are broke down in categories, right? You can do the same thing on the Windows, but the only thing is that if I was to put, like, if I had 30 icons here in the desktop and I put them in the folder, they're not really desktop icons anymore. They're just links. They're not buttons. They're just links. The image doesn't show like it does on the desktop. And not only that, I don't have full control over what goes where, under what folder. I'd have to move things around. But more importantly, is these don't ever change location. I can change it in the code, but they won't change on their own. That's not the same for the desktops. You have a hiccup on the system. The next thing, all your desktop icons that you just, last week organized really cool are now all jumbled up and screwed up. Okay. The other thing too is that the same interface can be used for everything. Websites, running applications, running custom terminal commands. There's a way to put an input box here. I drop code into it, type in a command, and it actually runs it. Well, I can do it in the terminal too, right? But I can't do this in a terminal right here. I can in GUI, but it's actually, I found out it's more difficult to use YAD than it is the JavaScript. And I'm, by any imagination or stretch of the truth, I'm not a programmer. I have no formal training. I understand very little about the code itself. But so today I'm using JavaScript to execute terminal commands in a browser, and with JavaScript and HTML and CSS, of course, like that. Now I'm going to have all kinds of these. This will have a scroll bar when it gets down far enough. So I can use the mouse center wheel there, or I can drag in like that too, like that. And if I want, I can go bigger. I have this whole canvas that I can put all kinds of things on it. More buttons, more sections, more directories. Now I can't change things here, like I can't copy and delete and things like that. If it's an executable file, HTML file that runs in a browser, I can sure do that. So it's a work in progress. All right, well, that's all for today. Thank you. Oh, like, share, comment, good, bad. Thank you.